to hit the hole 3 times like it did in round 1. Be hard to repeat. Oh, there's that movement. Cue ball almost got lost in the corner. I tell you, for Lechner, it's a lot about the start, just like it is for most of the players. But if he starts out okay, that's when he usually gets stronger and a little more steady as he goes. And if you talk about steady, probably not too many more steady than his opponent, Niels Feijen.
There's Feijen, who's done so much in the game and who showed in the first round in overcoming Joshua Filler from well behind. He's still very competitive indeed.
Yeah, an awkward shot to start here. I think the 2 is playable. And he overcut it to the pocket, so got a little more movement out of the 3, and now probably a safety opportunity. Not easy, though. So much traffic to try and manipulate the object ball, that being the red 3. That needs to go a little bit. He did get the snooker. Has him elevated over the pink 4. Making things more difficult. And being elevated, I'm not so sure really what he has. He can get at it rail first, but
extension code.
Kind of awkward to get any speed on this, being over the pink 4. Maybe he tries to nip this ball. All right, he's looking at the kick, and I would too. I think he can get at it rail first, you know, right before the red 3, but really can't do much with it. So trying to get a little separation. Oh, great hit. Great hit. Watch out, Nineball.
It was tracking right on line, but not enough juice.
Now it appears the pink 4 does play by the 7, so Max will probably ignore the 9-ball that'll be in the corner of his eye up there near the top left corner.
Extension code.
Probably cuts the 3 in and tries to play some position on the pink 4. Interesting though, he's got to kind of go with a high ball, so speed here very crucial. And a very comfortable swing there to get him in line on the pink 4. And a lot of things add up, you know, to even more quality as we go further in this Whirlpool Masters. Of course, all these players making it through that first tough match. The races extending to 11. So the players should come out a little more comfortably.
This tournament has always oozed prestige. Now that the field has been reduced to 16 players and the races have been extended, it's got even more. The players are loving it.
Yeah, well, Matchroom, they put in a lot of thought to things, and you know, it's hard to get it right every time, but they're going to consistently try to get it right until it meets what it should as far as the standard, and you can't ask for more. This Whirlpool Masters we have in 2023.
This is the elite of the sport, and first blood in our opening quarter-final is drawn by the opponent of Niels Feijen, Max Lechner, who 30 years after the first Whirlpool Masters is trying to take the trophy back to Austria, the original winner on this event in Plymouth, down in England's West Country in 1993, was an Austrian, Werner Derriger. Lechner, 32 years of age. He was the US Open runner-up last year. He's 8th in the Nineball ranking at the moment. That US Open, I thought he played tremendously at times. He was involved in 9 matches. He came through into the single elimination phase undefeated and won 8 of 9, and he beat some very good players in the semi-finals in a real thriller. Ko Ping Chung. Also in the quarterfinals, Chris Melling overcame Roland Garcia, Jonas Suter Camino and Pius Labutis in the single elimination. The only player who got the better of him was Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, 13-10.
Yeah, and I really love actually Max's outlook on things. He's always, you know, wanting to improve. Doesn't seem like things hold him back too much. Learns from most things that happen, good and bad. All right, really nice break off there. Not going to get the benefit of an offensive shot, but does have a look at the red 3.
I'm going to throw you a question, Jeremy.
Oh, no.
There's no definitive answer to this.
Okay, good.
Just your opinion. Max Lechner must be, if not the best, but certainly one of the best players who's not involved in the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about it all week that, you know, in this small field of 14 off the rankings and 2 wild cards, Austria has 3 off the rankings, so super impressive. Talked about Poland so much, but just because I think the rise of what they've done in Poland and so many great players, but hats off to Austria as well. And there's a few other countries that would be more than willing to pick up Max just in case he wanted to exit Austria for a few weeks.
The composition of the quarterfinals here. 7 nations represented. The only one doubly represented is Austria.
Yeah, well, Spain got an invite, right, with 2 of them. So it was originally Federgorst. We lost a man from Vietnam. A cross-side bank here on the 3, it appears. And he missed that by some mark.
Give me a second, because we have a problem. Max, give me a second.
So normally when you miss the, you know, by that much, a little off with the timing of the swing.
We don't have beeps in the arena.
I do like his choice of trying to stay aggressive or come out aggressive, let's say.
And if it's fixed, can we run the
Excuse us 1 second. Just making sure the shot clock is on point.
Can we test once?
Yeah, the referee, Desislava Boshilova, is basically saying there's no beeps audible in the arena, and so consequently the players don't know when the clock is running down.
Yeah, you can see the graphic on the lower right side of your screen, the time foul, and I don't think that's going to end up being the case, but they definitely want to make sure everything's working correctly. I'll tell you, Max Lechner with a tough shot on the 3, just because he's got to draw the cue ball all the way back for the pink 4.
There's Desislava from Bulgaria, listening to see if the beeps can be clearly heard. The previous shot apparently was a time foul, but of course the players were in total ignorance.
Thanks.
Yeah, along with the referee, actually. You know, the players get super involved. That's why the beeps are there, so the referee can pay attention to the table. Of course, we have a referee on the time clock besides Des. So a big shot here. One of the prettiest shots in pool. A lot of length and then a lot of working the cue ball. Yeah, just a little quick with the backswing in my opinion, and didn't miss it by much, but Max is going to be a little upset about that one. He got put on the cooker there, Phil, though.
They're the kind of shots, if you knock them in early, it really does instill self-belief in the technique.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're going to be faced with some long shots, that's for sure. Tricky little shot here, trying to cut the 3,
Extension code.
bank it away, clear the 9. The thing is here, he's got to know the cue ball is going to move quite a bit across table. Maybe, possibly try to play the cue ball a couple rails underneath the brown 7. All about the object ball speed here, though, and watch out for the side pocket for the 3 ball. That's what I was worried about right there. Yeah.
Jeremy, your ability to call shots never fails to amaze me. I'm not worthy.
Well, when you do things like that and see it happen so often, you just kind of get a little gut instinct about it. And I knew the 3 had to roam near the side, and really nice cue ball, a little unfortunate there. I'll tell you, that shows you the confidence that Niels has. I mean, most players would have taken on that shot, but they would have looked around for something a little easier, and a super nice edging on the peak 4.
This is a generalization, but as you get older, and of course Niels is 46 now, those thin safeties become more and more difficult, don't they?
Yeah, it's one of the most nervy shots there is in pool, and like I said, even at a young age, even when you're in your prime, you might say, and
Extension code.
it's a shot you would rather not have to shoot. But overall, he hit it really well. It was hard to get the snooker, really all about containing the pink 4. Okay, I think he's going to try and use the 6-8 here off the right side of the pink, bringing the cue ball behind the 6. Oh, he's going for the bank. This is going to be right in front of the side, maybe. Oh, look at it, it's going to get past the side. Hard to argue staying aggressive, that's for sure, especially when you can cue the ball well. Okay, he's got to double bank the pink 4 below the 9 and just kind of drag the cue ball behind the purple. Just can't get the, the cue ball and the object ball to agree. And when they don't agree, you got to play the object ball first. Get it into somewhat of a safe path. Now this should be the pink 4 behind the 6-8 maybe. Coming off his left side of the pink 4. Now it looks like he's coming across it. No, he's playing the shot I was talking about. There's a few gaps there, and he definitely hit one of them. So Niels will have a look at the pink 4. I don't like him moving the 4 that much here. I think he needs to go ahead and play his good, remember how good you are and just lay the cue ball down in the middle of the end rail. Let the 4 be out in space. And I do understand what he's playing here. He's trying to get the 4 to the back rail. Really worked out nice.
Just seems, Niels Feijen, like a man on a mission. He's been talked about as a future European Mosconi Cup captain, and obviously he fits the bill. But you just get the impression with him, he feels as though his playing days are far from over.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it is unique. The greats, they just seem to have something that, if they want to stay in shape, if they want to commit and put in the work, away from the tournament table, that they can stay in form. A little overcut, little decel, a little bit there. Just a hair of a let up.
Now that technical principle applies in pool and in snooker. When you see decelerations, the ball is overcut.
Yeah, with outside spin, inside spin, it's in pool, it's usually hit a little thick. One thing I was going to say that was a common theme to some upsets in the first round was keeping control. And I think Niels is trying to do that with his safety play. Just the pink 4 got away there. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. Had to land on top of that pink 4.
He's actually a little unlucky where he's dropped.
Yeah, he's pretty happy, though, the pink 4 got down. And I'll tell you what, Max looks very settled. And he's going to love this speed here behind the green 6. And I think this ball's out in space. You know, the kick's cut off a little bit by the 9. He can go to the other long rail, but I do kind of like the jump shot here. Maybe just send it at the 7, try to bank it in. He went the other route, trying to get some movement on the cue ball. Kind of surrender a shot, but nothing easy. Okay, pretty easy natural movement of the cue ball, all about knocking the purple 5 in. He's overcut it and may slide. Yeah. What happens there, Phil, is sometimes you say, let me use a little of that side rail to slide the ball in, and you just kind of lose focus, I think.
As you said, you classified that shot as not easy, and it wasn't, but it's the kind of ball you expect Max Lechner to deposit.
Yeah, and a few things there. He could have shot it with a little more speed coming off the side rail back out. And maybe, like I said, tried to make the shot a little easier with the speed he hit it, and maybe trying to use that side rail. Niels is not going to be happy with the position he's played on the 6. It is a pocketable ball, and position not terrible, but he's kind of got to roll it. Interesting, too. Very elevated, so he must be stunning the ball. Yeah, and that's a sign of nerves to me, not leveling out and rolling that ball in.
It's been a mistake-strewn rack, and that could be the final mistake.
Yeah, and no matter what level pool player you are, when the nerves are high, if you want to get settled, you don't change the way you would normally play when nerves aren't so high. That's the easiest way to get in form. I'm not saying that's what happened with Niels, but in my opinion, most times he would roll that 6 in. Max looks pretty good with the stroke, in my opinion. Just making sure going forward's okay for the 9 in the lower right.
It wasn't quality,
Max Lechner wins the rack.
but winning these matches is all about quantity, getting to 11 first. And Max Lechner, in that regard, has made the ideal start. Okay, errors are in there, but he does lead by 2 racks to 0. He's a very friendly individual, Max Lechner, model professional, and before the match, we caught up with Mad Max.
It's the 3rd time in a row I'm through to the quarterfinals. Feels pretty amazing. to be honest. I really love the Whirlpool Masters, love the format, so pretty exciting, yeah. Yeah, crazy. I've never seen or done 3 golden breaks in my life before, especially not in one match. Of course, it was kind of luck, but also kind of skill to hit the same spot, the same speed, the same pressure on the one ball. So yeah, I hope I can continue like that. Yeah, Niels is a living legend already in our sport. He is and was always a guy I looked up to, how he's acting on the table, and yeah, it's a really, really strong opponent, and I gotta play my A game to beat him.
The third mark, Max Lechner to break, leading by 2 racks to 0.
Always speaks really well, Max Lechner. And far more often than not, he plays really well.
Yeah, I got a little quick with that one. Wasn't a terrible hit, but when you get a little quick, the tip comes up a little bit. The one usually hits a little short of the side
Push
pocket.
out code.
He was mentioning, Jeremy, this isn't his first gig in the quarterfinals of the World Masters. Last year, he overcame Dimitri Jungo of Switzerland in the last 16, 7-2, but then succumbed to Ko Pin-Yi at this corresponding stage.
Yeah, he's as steady as they come, and that runner-up finish at the U.S. Open last year, I think at some time in this year, maybe this week, he'll be able to lean on that experience. Now, I might challenge here. Maybe roll the cue ball out, you know, a little left towards the 3. I'll keep it on this bottom cushion. Let him go at a 1 ball up in the corner. He's going to roll to the top rail. This is pretty good, actually. I think if the cue ball comes off the rail, though, Max is definitely going to take the shot. And I see this as an easier shot, playing the 1 in the lower right corner versus coming off this bottom cushion trying to play the 1 in the upper left.
I believe we've got technical problems with the beeps on the shot clock again, so it's just being checked out.
Yeah, technology these days is amazing, but it's still at times a little fickle.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready, Max.
And again, I don't think Max can pass this. I think I probably go for this shot myself. He can certainly stun the ball a couple rails. The 2's pretty open, the blue 2 right there in the middle of the table. Yeah, I think he's supposed to shoot. Now, if he was on the rail with the cue ball, that'd be a little different, but again, he can cue it nicely. It's another one of those big shots. If you get it down, can really get you going. Yeah, I think he's going to get snookered, kind of unfortunately coming across, not contacting the 6 or the 9, but I think mainly the problem with Niels' push out was the speed of the cue ball. He wanted to lay it on the rail. And you got to believe Max is not really an underdog with this jump.
Any kind of flick on the 9 would have been perfect, but he just avoided it.
Yeah, now there is some angle, so even if he makes the 2, the blue 2, he may need a little fortune to get on the 3. And it's amazing how often when you do miss, the consistency on the jump as you overcut it. What you don't realize is the ball's in the air, so it hits a little higher than the equator on the object ball and tends to cut it a little more than you expect. All right, this does play. Big shot for Niels. And it just hasn't settled in yet. And that's, you know, you got to commend Max, right? for keeping those safety battles, keeping them a little funny for Niels. Niels having to clip the ball, run the cue ball safe for several innings the first 2 games. But that one there was definitely one he should knock in.
And this, at this level, is a table that Lechner should run.
Yeah, and the problem I see and the difference in the first match for Niels versus Filler, you know, he trailed 5-1, but he played real well. He just had a couple little things get away, an odd scratch on a kiss shot. He overran position, had to bank the 8, missed it. But I could see the comeback a little easier because he had a lot of quality shots. Now if he trails after making some big mistakes, now that's a different mentality.
Yeah, Feijen missed a double on the 8 ball in the 6th rack. Filler potted 8 and 9 to go 5-1 up. At that point, given Filler's class and stature, you thought maybe it was going to be an entirely one-sided contest. In fact, Filler did not score again. So being 3-0 down, if that is the case, yes, it would be an irritation for Feijen, but it wouldn't be by any means a crisis.
All right, Max didn't want to play with the angle, so he's going to get a little short side on the black 8, shooting the brown 7. And to me, with some of the upsets, not all of them, of course, Albin played real well. Kachi just played a little better, and that's not a huge upset anyways. But the thing with me on a couple of the upsets is were a few of the shots by Filler and to be frank, FSR. You know, I haven't seen either one of them hit the ball a few times like they did. Like, I've never seen them hit the ball like that. And just shows you how important this Whirlpool Masters is to all the players. Perfect speed here, Phil.
Max Lechner wins the rack.
Max Lechner takes advantage of Niels Feijen's latest mistake.
I was watching the backswing there from Lechner. I thought he got a little quick on the last. Definitely much better there. I'll tell you, he's got a shot on the blue too. Position not the easiest. He is off the rail with the cue ball though, so there is a 3-rail route to getting on the 3 ball, the red 3. I wonder if he may take on a cross side bank trying to hold position. We'll see. And it looks like the bank's not the shot for sure. May just take a long shot on the red 3.
It's the kind of clearance that, although it is on, requires a lot of execution and a lot of thought. The ball's actually quite unusually placed.
Yeah, and this shot will tell us a lot. I think he's trying to get into the brown 7. The right side of the brown 7 looks pretty natural. So really about knocking the ball in. And that's going to open the doors for this run out. Now this is the shot here. See how simple he keeps it. That's where I'd like to be. Just draw back below the side. Or for him, or for us as viewers, a little above the side pocket. He's going to get a little flat here. Good thing he stayed off the rail, though.
And I think he does retain enough angle for a certain amount of maneuverability.
Yeah, he'd love to be able to come one rail between the 8 and 9 up the table. I'm not sure if that angle is offered, but he could certainly draw the cue ball around the 9 2 rails, I think, anyways. Yeah, that's what he's going to do here. 2 rails around the 9, kind of spread the cue ball. Tell you what, it's not getting any easier though. Going to be near the rail here, and unless he wants to add a ton of inside spin, he's either going to have a lot of angle or a lot of distance on this 7, having to get back on the 8. This is that angle I was talking about, Phil. So it's kind of one of those racks he had to settle on a lot of position shots and take a little more on. This being another. Boy, he really settled here, Phil.
That's what you call being conservative, but will it pay off?
Well, it's a little funny. I mean, drawing the ball around the 9's the comfortable way to pocket this ball. That's what he's going to do. But this could get away from him.
That's the problem when you keep leaving yourself missable pots. You paid forward eventually, you'll catch yourself out.
Yeah, and the position on the purple 5 just led to a little out of line on the 6, a little more out of line on the 7, and then we all saw a difficult 8. And I was going to say the timeout couldn't have come at a better time for Niels, and certainly that missed 8 even more so.
To say that winning a 4th rack in a race to 11 is a lifeline, that might be an exaggeration, but it was gratefully accepted by Niels Feijen. The missed 8 from Max Lechner, who was 2 balls away from 4-0. In actuality, it is 3-1. Now 2 matches for you in this session. Coming up next, and there he is, Filipino James Arenas, the conqueror of Francisco Sanchez Ruiz in the previous round. His opponent today is Poland's Viktor Zielinski. It's all about shaking that off now, Jeremy, and just forgetting about the mistake.
Yeah, and I think that's what I kind of talked about with Max to start the match, that his mentality on things is very good. He kind of can process really well. He's pretty frank with himself about things.
Trailing by 3 racks to 1.
I think later on Zielinski's got his hands full with Arenas, in my opinion. Now Niels obviously broke the balls really well against Filler. Did get a warning, and interesting that Dez is doing this match as well.
Yes, in that match against Filler, there was the precautionary word in the air, and then came the official warning. I think it did him a favour, actually.
Yeah, and it seems like that's the trend whenever that warning does get implemented, that the players seem to break the balls better and kind of, like I said, get themselves going. The one locked on the green 6. I'll tell you, I don't know if the path is there. He wouldn't mind chipping the 1 and run the cue ball 1 rail behind the 7, 8, 9, something like that. But I have to get a little creative here. He's going to dig, so he's going to try and come backwards with the cue ball, maybe behind the pink 4 or behind the 8, 9. Okay, now with good cueing, you doubt he gets this back.
In cue sports, can't think of another instance where you need to be more of a lateral thinker than with a push out.
Yeah, it's You got to know your opponents, that's for sure. Usually, again, it's not something you practice. Normally, there's a variation of a shot that you know, and Max definitely has something in mind. Is he trying to roll on the 6? No, he's hitting the right side. This is the first shot I was talking about, coming down behind the 7, 8, 9. Now he's going to try and drag him behind the 3. And very surprised Niels didn't notice that. And the other thing that maybe Max has something to lean on is Niels has struggled with a few of the longer shots to start.
That wasn't the most complex hook, was it at all? It was quite straightforward.
Yeah, and you could tell that he had that in mind from the get, so didn't take long to execute it. Now I wouldn't get too involved in this kick, trying to hit it super slow, barely get it to the rail, use the 8-9. You may not get a cushion and surrender ball in hand. If you do that, the 1 may end up going into the 9. Nice hit. He's going to like the outcome.
There's the 2-ball shield in mid-table.
Well, he can go ahead and set the playing cue down. He's certainly going to jump it. I think it's just a matter of how he wants to play it. And again, with the blue 2 there near, position may not be that available, but control, that's the thing. Knock this one in to keep control of the rack.
The cue ball wasn't far off from exiting the table.
Yeah, when I was watching him, of course, the TV and the cameras will fool us often, but I kind of felt like he was lined up to overcut the 1. Just looking at the line of the cue, a little fortunate the pink 4 got on top of the blue 2. So Niels probably a safety here. Maybe not. I'll tell you what, he's put the 1 in a really good position. Purple 5, of course, cue ball attached to the red 3, so he's got to go 2 rails at this. Now he's got a little comfort knowing that 2 is difficult. So this is like, don't get too involved with a return safety. Just take your chances with contact on the 1. He's going to hit the 9, the cue ball. He's going to love this, I think. Get a nice little bump here. Nice snooker there. It's going to be another 2-rail escape, most likely. Bottom cushion, left long rail into the 2. And in day 1, Phil, we didn't see a lot of tactical battles. We saw a game here and there that had a few, but there's really a lot of breaking runs. Someone getting control early and playing well to clear the table. Now in our first quarterfinal, we've seen a ton of safeties. Good speed there.
Yes, and these safety bounds have come very early in the match. Sometimes you see a match start off fluently, and then as the nerves and the stakes increase, that's when players become a little more circumspect. Right from the get-go, it's been very intense.
All right, Niels with not so much he's got to win this game, but he's got to get the arm going, right? Get a little looser. Even the one ball he knocked in this game, it, you know, knowing Niels real well, his game real well, wasn't the smoothest stroke, you might say. Now these last few have looked better. It'll come 2 cushions, just a soft 3rd cushion coming off the pink 4 to get up to the purple 5. Should come between the 6-8. Even there, he caught it a little thick to the pocket. And a little fortunate cue ball got off the rail, but definitely a hair more angle than he wanted on this purple 5. Shouldn't be a problem. Could go with a high ball here, couple rails. Catching the 3rd rail most likely. Falling somewhat straight on the 7. He's still got some work left here. Probably wanted a little more angle on the 7 and should be okay. He's probably going to have to play from underneath the 8.
The one set of pockets that have to be respected most are these side pockets. No inaccuracy is tolerated.
Yeah, and it's easy to be a little intimidated, especially from these small angles.
Off the far jaw though, Niels Feijen pulls another one back. Remember, Max Lechner was a couple of pots away from leading 4-0. Now the Austrian's lead has been evaporated almost. It is 3-2. He knows though, doesn't he, Max Lechner, what an opponent he's up against. Niels Feijen, twice a winner of this event. Age 46. He's trying to become the oldest World Pool Masters champion ever. Ralph Suke was 42 when he won his record 6th World Pool Masters title just over a decade ago. But obviously, Feijen is now well in advance of that. But what a record he's put together over the years, Jeremy.
Oh, absolutely. I think, you know, the only thing he's missing is the U.S. Open. World champion, of course, 4-time Mosconi Cup MVP, many Mosconi Cup titles,
Niels Feijen to break.
World Pool Masters.
Trailing by 3 rocks to 2.
I think Ralph won his first World Pool Masters at like 12, maybe 13, and kept winning. Has a few seconds in there as well. Watch out, cue ball. So good on the 1 so far. Nice spread. Also, what we see, it seems like, as the event goes, is a little more tactical battles, of course, higher quality usually, and also the layouts seem to get tougher and tougher. It's amazing how that happens. Really nice spot here on the blue 2. Now, this is a tricky rack, and getting position on the pink 4 here in a few shots is really the key, it seems. But I was going to say, with the 4 and the 6, I don't think it passes the 7 either. I may have looked at playing the 3-5 right there, Phil, and the only reason being is if you can get position on the 4, it really helps you with the 6, right, if the 5 is gone. So I may have considered the 3-5 combo, or at least taken a little more time to think it over. Because if the 3-5 combo's not hard, he was in a great spot to get to that combo. And with the 3 over the pocket, I don't think position on the 4 would have been that difficult.
Extension code.
By the way, for all you pool statisticians, Ralph Souquet was in his mid-20s when he won his first World Pool Masters in Doncaster, England in 1994. And his victim in the final was a certain James Warren White, Jimmy White. He beat him 2 sets to 1.
Okay, I'm not sure what he's playing here. Is he? I was going to say, is he playing a cross-corner bank with a big pocket? What a shot. What a shot. It went in clean, Phil, but he knew he had some gutters on the side with that purple 5. So getting creative here early and maybe a good sign of getting loose. The one thing we've seen from Niels so far is trying to stay aggressive, which is, again, a good sign.
Right at the top of the match as they were lagging, I said these two are shot makers, and Feijen's always been a very creative player, and I think when he puts that aspect of his game into the best aspect, then he's really dangerous.
Yeah, for many times in his career, or for a long time in his career, the one, I wouldn't say weakness, but you would say that the part that got the best of him at times were some of the tactical battles, but always really good once he got the first shot down, really tidy cue ball, and of course his safety game with the experience has come a long ways.
And then you think, well, can he deal with pressure? Of course he can. Most valuable player at the Mosconi Cup on an astounding 4 occasions. Now that's the ultimate pressure.
Yeah, absolutely, and maybe ultimate pressure in all sports, to be fair. And I think Niels, one thing that adds up well for him on the Mosconis, of course I've always been on the opposing team, or rooting for the opposing team, but he seems like a team player, so I think it's easier to play better when you're that kind of guy.
That was impressive. It all started out with a very far-sighted shot, which was also executed perfectly.
Thank you. Rack 7, Niels Feijen to break. 3 racks each.
We said at the start it was going to be a very difficult match to call. Nothing's changed in that regard. And when it comes to breaking and running out, the balls are not cooperating.
Yeah, to be fair, I still kind of see why he got that warning. Not saying that was one that should be warned, but I think it's, it's close. Very difficult push out, like it always is, especially with an open ball. Maybe the jump cue. You certainly don't want to roll out to the top end of the table and leave a very easy safety. You can see the red 3, the 5, 7, 9, 8 in the middle of the table, so not hard to protect. May have to challenge here, and what you do is you challenge to where, of course, the shot's going to be difficult and position even more difficult. So I think the correct shot here. Make the cueing as awkward as possible. I think Max probably comes off the right side of the 2, tracks the cue ball some 2 rails underneath the 7-9. Again, the 3 in a difficult position. So if he can get some distance, try to get the snooker. If he leaves a piece, still nothing easy. About a quarter ball hit. Maybe 1/3 of the ball. For the make, and I guess it was a 2-way shot. Pretty smart.
Yes, with 5 balls pretty much down the spine of the table there, it was almost impossible to leave a gap.
Yeah, and he struck it with confidence, and it seems like it's been a long time since we saw Max at the table. Oh, nice hit there. Like picture perfect.
Don't know whether you agree, Jeremy, but I've said this before, use the phrase man on a mission. Niels Feijen this week looks as though he's really up for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with the shaky start, the experience has been apparent here early. I think a very good, timely commercial break at 3-0. Uh-oh. Okay. Did get the nice hit. He's going to squeeze the cue ball here. It's maybe going to the air. Just getting the good side of the blue 2. Definitely intended separation between the cue ball and the blue 2.
You could say this is kickboxing, but no one's landed a blow yet.
Extension code.
It looks like he's got to go over a sliver of the brown 7, which makes it difficult because now he's got to carry over a part of the purple 5 and the red 3, so wouldn't be surprised this one gets a foot in the air. Wow.
Well, we know what's the shot of the match now so far. That was simply brilliant. Elevation, accuracy, and look where the cue ball came to rest.
And I'll tell you, early a tell to Niels Feijen, in my opinion. One that now looks very confident. This cue ball spread a little bit, but should be okay.
Whatever you say about the jump shot and its merits, it is spectacular.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what the players have done the last probably 10 years even, they just get better and better. And it's certainly something that has to be in your mind if you're playing some type of safety. Oh no, and missing the pocket cost him the cue ball.
That will greatly annoy Niels Feijen because that was the product of edginess. He was edgy on the shot.
Yeah, and he had a choice to go forward with the cue ball as well, trying to simplify the shot, just come over for the 5, the purple 5 in the same pocket. Wow, what a hit with the cue ball. Exactly where he intended. And doing what he can to make things difficult for Mad Max. And what happens in these matches is once the players settle in and getting that working mentality, that's whenever the nerves start to go away a little bit. We see our better pool.
Extension code.
Looks like he's going to attack. Can he get into the 6 with the cue ball, the green 6? Otherwise, position is kind of up in the air.
Well, frankly, wasn't in the same zip code as the pocket.
All right, he's got to edge the purple 5 here. He's got to, I don't think he can get above the 8, so something like between the 8 and 9 with the cue ball. Really good. Now he's got a couple options here. He can kick to the left long rail. He can kick softly. In a lot of ways you hit the purple 5, you can use the green 6 in a snooker kind of manner. Now he could go firm trying to hit the 5, the purple 5, nice and full and banking it away. But I like the soft kick here myself. Of course, it's something you have to be comfortable with. He's hitting a high ball, so he's trying to hit it full. Yeah, and a lot of guys will play it that way. It's a little higher percentage. It does require that good execution.
So many hooks in this rack alone.
And I like this kick shot here. You're right in line with it, so you like your chances, and you're kicking towards congestion. The lower right corner is open, like that.
I think the earlier jump shot has been supplanted. That was the shot of the match so far. Well, he's bringing the fireworks. Fine, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, we've really seen it all early, and this one hit the mark. Never touched the side rail, just perfectly struck. And the great thing about the extended races this year, and you know, not just the final and whatnot, is you see a lot of change in the match, right? You get those momentum swings. You see a lot more pool and learn a lot more about our players as well.
It is 4 consecutive racks from Niels Feijen. Remember, in the first round, he won 8 consecutive racks against the defending champion, Joshua Fuller. Today, he was 3-0 down against Max Lechner. Now, though, he's 4-3 in front. And the key to his success in rack 7 was not 1, but 2 absolutely eye-popping shots.
Yeah, here the jump, the 2 and the cue ball in the air. Had to jump multiple balls as well. Gained some position on the red 3. This is the shot of the match so far, and a crucial one. And that's what got Niels Feijen his first lead.
And what I've noticed with Feijen over the years is the kind of player who gets fired up by his own excellence. If he's playing well, he loves it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, he's been pretty good with the one in the side. He's had a little more congestion than Max's racks. Maybe just the speed itself. Oh, a little more speed that time. Missed the one in the side. So we'll see Max Lechner with a pocketable yellow 1 ball, but nothing easy. And again, a lot of congestion around the rack area. And this type of shot, you know, this one here, he should play comfortably into the side. It's not easy, but this is where those tougher side pockets start to become maybe a hair mental. I don't think he comes out for the side pocket for the blue 2. I don't think so anyways. I think that's risking a miss. Maybe just take the blue 2 up in the upper left. Yeah, and I think that was just all between the ears, Phil, huh?
You know, it's exactly the same in snooker. You look at a table and you think that kind of shot is simple for these guys. Let me tell you, it isn't. These pockets are unforgiving, and if you hit that near jaw, you are toast. Lechner already has missed 6 pots in the match.
Yeah, to be fair, you know, a few of them were very difficult, long distance and whatnot, but I always say I like betting on the player to make pretty much any shot they attack with. So through 7 games, 6 misses, that's a big number.
Yeah, that's the salient point. We're still very much in the early stages of the contest.
It looks like he's perfect here. He doesn't have to really collide with the purple 5 or the green 6 in any manner. Definitely has a shot at the red 3. Should just pinch this up. He may go to the rail. He wants a little angle from above the pink 4 to come 2 rails near the 8 for the purple 5. Yeah, he's in a great spot. Just can't lose focus. He's perfect here on the purple 5. Just a little draw stroke. Doesn't want to fall underneath the 6. You want to stay above it with the brown 7 on the bottom rail. Looks like he may push the 9 a little bit. You can see this. It's just all about how you want to play it. Probably uses the second rail up at the top of the table.
This week, Niels Feijen, the king of the sustained comeback. That's 5 of a kind. 5 consecutive racks fall to the Dutchman. He was 3-0 down. Now he's leading 5-3. Before the contest, we caught up with him and got Niels Feijen's thoughts.
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I had a day off yesterday. Just did my normal routines, you know, hit the gym, meditate a couple of times, go for a nice walk, clear the mind. The start of the match didn't go as planned, of course. I won the first game, then got a bit unlucky on a carom shot. In game 2, I scratched in the side, and then the next inning at the table, I'm down 4-1. It's really easy to go in like self-pity mode, like, oh, it's not rolling. I turned it around, I gave myself some good affirmations and came back and won the next 8 racks. Really nice. That was a confidence boost. Play Max in the quarters today. Really tough opponent. One of the better breakers on the tour, which gives him a lot of opportunities after the break. If I win this one, I'm 1 step closer again, and then it's all to play for tomorrow. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Full focus for today. Execute well. Just put out a winning performance.
Thank you.
He is a genuinely good guy, Niels Feijen. You can't help but pull for him. He did 3 things yesterday, Jeremy, that I didn't do. Meditate, gym, and walk.
That's why we're on this side of it, Phil. Okay, a lot better spread there, so the timing a little better. The 1 did get down. Again, not really an offensive opportunity on the blue 2. And it kind of feels like, you know, our first ad break did Niels some favors, and maybe that will be the same for Max here shortly. I think he could, well, I'm not sure what he's doing here. Maybe playing the 2 back down near the purple 5, like that. He's going to give up a look at the blue 2, so a bit of a mistake. Yeah, nothing really laid great. Did expect a little better there, but and we'll see what Max has in mind. It looks like bank the 2 back towards the 9 and go at the 6-7 with the cue ball, but not really sure what else. Now he could pocket a ball on accident. Good effort. Did leak out a little bit. Now what Niels is looking at, not that can I see the blue 2, but can I get to the right side of it, his right side of it. May try to overcut this and run the cue ball back up in the vicinity of where it's at now.
Extension code.
You know, if the 8 wasn't there, he may play at a 2-9 trying to get the cue ball up table, but the 8's really kind of keeping the cue ball from running. I'm not sure what he's attacking with. Okay, keeping it simple. Really good speed on the blue 2, and took its chances to get behind the pink 4, but obviously the object ball was the emphasis. I think Max can, oh, he's a little snookered. Can't get to the left side. I was going to say he may even swerve around this to get to the left side of the 2 and try and run the cue ball. Just the right side doesn't seem like there's much there. I think he may be doing what I was talking about, kind of swerving the cue ball. Oh no, he double kissed it. So Niels with some, you know, he's got a couple different banks he could play, but most likely going defensive here. Looks like he's going to try and track the cue ball a couple, 2-3 rails behind the 8. Good thing is he's got some nice cover with the object ball with the purple 5, the green 6.
So you want Jeremy, he knows all about running a bunch of racks in succession. In a World Masters quarter-final when he won this title for the first time in 2013. In the quarter-finals, he whitewashed Mika Immonen 8-0.
Oh, you had to run a lot of racks to do that. Mika, one of the all-time greats. Okay, big swerve shot here. Oh, what a hit. Really nice contact.
Feijen's second success in the World Masters was in 2018. And that quarter-final was much more hard-fought. He beat Denis Akolio 8-6, and I get the impression that this one will be really tight in the final analysis as well.
Yeah, I wonder here going to the side rail if he's trying to come off the blue 2 and pocket the black 8. Looks like a playable shot to me. Really nice. Banking the 2 back down. So nobody giving in here in rack number 9.
One thing we must say, of course, this is a total of 21 racks potentially. So this could be a really lengthy contest.
wanted to get behind the 8, and the speed's off as well. I do like him keeping it simple with all the congestion up the table. Probably wanted to make sure he didn't lose the cue ball on that type of shot. So now this is one you gotta, you know, it's not so clear cut. You just kind of gotta feel moving the 2 ball while kind of stunning the cue ball a couple rails behind the 5-6, the purple 5, the green 6. He's gonna roll it. I thought that was always dangerous, rolling it. I'm surprised he didn't stun the 2 and kind of move the cue ball near the 9 a couple rails and bring the cue ball where it's at now. Max may go offensive on this combination, this bank combination here, into the brown 7. Now it's a harder one to gamble on, just because the 5 and 6 could cover up the 2 ball. I think he can get at the 2. He can. So a very nervy shot coming off his right side of the blue 2, and just going to the rail and nestling the cue ball behind the pink 4. Now it looks like he's wanting to move the 2 ball up the table. So he's going to follow straight through it. Oh, he almost made it. And that was never the intention. He's trying to put the 2 up the table.
Lechner needs something positive, needs to get going, needs to get the cue arm lubricated.
Yeah, and he's got to hit this easy, I think. I mean, he could come across with the cue ball trying to let the red 3 escape after the 7's made, but looks like to me the light stroke is the play. He played it to come down. Should be okay now.
The way things have transpired, he can't afford any mistakes. Hard to imagine any will be forthcoming, especially now. The 5-rack winning run put together by Niels Feijen has been punctuated.
To break, trading by 4 racks to 5.
But of course, Lechner, with the winner breaks format, now has the chance, he's favourite, to draw level. I'll tell you what, Jeremy, the configuration of these balls off the break, time and time again, it is the epitome of awkwardness.
Yeah, I feel they're just kissing here and there at the right times. It seems like a lot of congestion, and even more so than the congestion and, of course, the difficult layouts is no shots after the break, right? So we're getting to see all of it here in our first quarterfinal match. And even whoever really gets that first shot at the 2 ball still has a lot of work. The red 3 and the purple 5 congested. This will be an interesting shot. You can go with kind of a soft shot, right? Just kind of bumping the left side of the 2, maybe putting it up underneath the 7, can bring the cue ball into the 8, but they may leave not only a shot, but an easy return. He could go with a high ball, letting the 2 go into the 7, kind of make the cue ball hydraulic. And what I mean by that, a high ball will keep the cue ball near that rail behind the 8. So interesting to see. You know, Max got down and made a very simple safety after a pass push out earlier in the match. He's going with the soft side. Yeah, and he looks like he's come away perfectly.
Talking about the mental stamina needed for a match like this, of course, these two will only be involved in this contest today. It's just quarterfinals. Back in the day, the old US Open, if you're on the one-loss side of the draw, and this was your first match of a particular day, knowing you got probably 3 or 4 more, not ideal.
Extension code.
No, not at all, but the players these days, so fit, prepared for pretty much anything when it comes to the pool table. Oh, nice hit, and look at him bringing the cue ball back off the 7 ball. He's gonna love that result. And that's what I meant about the soft safety rolling on the 2. It may leave an easy return of some sort. Can't hardly knock Max's effort, but probably didn't expect Niels to get this much out of it, though. Did surrender a shot, but probably a little more freedom with that jump shot, you know, considering the position of the red 3 and the purple 5. It looks like Niels is just simply going to knock this in and get into a defensive position on the red 3. Now, can he bang the red 3 around the 8, holding the cue ball, trying to use the 6-7 maybe, the green 6 and the brown 7? He could roll this and get the 3 by the 8, maybe come back up on the 8 with the cue ball. Most would just kind of hold the ball trying to remove the 3. He knocked it into the 8. And that's going to upset him a bit. I'll tell you, if I'm Max, I don't get too involved here. Just knock the 3 away. The red 3 down to the bottom end of the table. Try and use the 6-7. If he tries to come up on the 7 to get closer for the snooker, he could give up a shot. Very important rack here at 5-4. If he simply just hits the red 3 nice and full, just simply stop your ball. It should come one rail down between the 8 and the pink 4. Yeah, that's, I mean, it looks a little amateur just doing that, not trying to get something better, but I think something better was a little risky.
And looking at this, that might be good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we talk about it in the Moscone a lot. You know, it's such a huge situation. You know, the guaranteed snooker is pretty powerful. And players are so great with the jump cue, sometimes it'll make you try to do too much. And it'll cost you. So Max now with the open shot. Strike there, good stroke. Perfect position to kind of wrap out of the lower right corner off the pink 4. Coming some 3 rails up the table for the purple 5. He's hitting a high ball. Can he go easily, I guess, inside the 6 with a high ball? Yes, he can. CQing with a little right side spin, trying to come up with a green 6 on the side. Ideal here, field, to just draw the cue ball up the table. Shouldn't use any rails coming back for the black 8. Just kind of slow draw it down the table. I'd probably come backwards with the cue ball here. Just a little light draw stun to the center.
As it was at 3-3, so it is at 5-5. Max Lechner has the momentum he enjoyed early on. We always say this, don't we, Jeremy? But I think it really does apply here. The way things are going, you wouldn't be at all surprised if it went hill-hill.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we've seen it all here early. I kind of feel like things are going to change in the latter half of the match. Guys are going to break the balls, get shots, and have chances to put some racks together. We'll just see who gets to do it first and who gets to do it the most.
It seems a while off, and of course it is, because it's a race to 11, but whoever comes through will play either Mario He or Eklund Kachi in the semi-finals.
All right, the 1's down. Cue ball got kicked. Here's that shot that we haven't seen much of after the break. A little bit of distance and definitely some balls he's got to work through to get position on the red 3, but more of a shot than we've seen most of the match. Looks like he can draw the ball 1 rail over. Little risky getting behind the pink 4. The let up on the stroke maybe involves the 9 ball, but we'll see where the tip position is, but I think it's got to be the draw stroke. All right, caught the 9, so that's going to speed the cue ball up a bit. And held behind the pink 4. Or near the pink 4, excuse me. Don't know if he can kill the cue ball here. He may come across off the pink 4 and play the purple 5 in the same pocket. Kind of looks natural to me.
Extension code.
Just a reminder, it's a 30-second shot clock with 1 30-second extension per player per rack, and Max Lechner electing to take his extension right here. Oh, dear me, Jeremy.
Yeah, and he changed his positional decision there. He was definitely going to come behind the purple 5 when he first got down. He looked at that and then decided to kill the cue ball with a little check side, and it cost him the pink 4. You can see Niels noticing the object ball immediately, starting to make a move.
shots like that turn matches.
Yeah, I agree, especially, you know, considering we haven't had many offensive opportunities after the break, and you heard it in the interview from Niels. Max, one of the better breakers on tour, and maybe could have got some things going there. See him tuck the shirt in. It's all ball fouls.
This will not be missed in a month of Sundays. So what a gift in the end for Niels Feijen. Looked like falling behind, but then Max Lechner undercut the 4-ball very surprisingly. Feijen jumped up, came to the table, regained the lead at 6-5. And racks like that, Jeremy, really hurt.
Yeah, absolutely, especially getting back to tied up after surrendering, excuse me, a 3-0 lead. And, you know, time to get the arm loose and get offensive, put some racks together, and then miss the chip shot. And again, that this change in the decision, I think, is what, you know, maybe got him a little more in a possible miss there on the pink 4.
Feijen understands now that his opponent is feeling a little demoralised, so really important for him to put in
Rock 12. Niels
a
Feijen to
very
break,
effective break here. A break and run would be just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and here's that shot after the break. 2 down, the 1 and 2 ball in that left middle. Looks like the red 3 does go by the purple 5. He's got to play a little short side position on the pink 4, it appears, but
it's as though some unseen force is saying you should not have missed that 4-ball. This is the punishment.
yeah, absolutely. And I was wondering, you know, because obviously Niels not putting as much speed into the break as Max, and what happens is, even if you make balls, if you're not coming away with shots, you can play safe, but the players kick out of those safeties, jump out of those safeties. So important to put a few racks together, especially if you're really talking about winning the Whirlpool Masters, not just this match. Okay, got a little straight, so maybe has to shoot the 6 from a little more distance. Doesn't want to get flat on the green 6, so wants an angle to come back for the 7. You can see dead straight in here on the purple 5. And he got a little flat, so he's going to have to come 1 rail down. Of course, the key here, don't end up too short. This is going to do nicely. Should come 2 rails with a little right side here. Getting a little angle on the 8 to come out for the 9 in the lower left.
since undercutting that 4-ball from short range, Max Lechner has been forced to sit there and dwell. He's now 2 behind once more. Niels Feijen 7-5 in front in this first quarter-final to be contested
Track 13,
at the Whirlpool Masters of
leading by 7 racks to
2023.
5.
Max Lechner knows he's been his own worst enemy. In the 11th rack, if you're just joining us, he missed a very simple 4-ball, and ever since he's been confined to his chair. Now though, with Feijen's dry break, Lechner comes back to the table with the opportunity to make amends.
Yeah, you kind of feel like some pretty important racks here for Max here, right in the middle of the match. We are approaching the end of the match, or Niels is at least. Max has been sitting on 5 for a minute. Nothing easy here on the yellow one.
The table's not been breaking easily. Niels Feijen guilty of 3 dry breaks already, even though he's in front.
Well, I think he's had a variation of speeds, and look at this, Max going for this 1 ball. This is all or nothing here. Did get a little fortunate to catch the 3 on the side, leaving a little more difficult shot on the yellow one for Niels, but he should attack. I think position brings him at least above the 3, maybe into the 3, that being the red 3. And this is a hard ball to not shoot at for these top players.
Extension code.
He could play the safety, banging the 1 down table, trying to use the blue 2 and the red 3 as some type of blockers, but man, you hard pressed to not shoot at this. He's cueing downward. Now he's hitting high ball, so he's probably shooting at this ball. Yeah. Probably wanted to contact the red 3 coming off the 1, but narrowly missing it. 1 did hit the center of the hole. So another big shot here.
Well, no direct damage done, but that's a ball you expect him to knock in.
Yeah, he's not going to surrender an offensive shot, but moving forward in this match, you know, some of them misses can become mental. And of course, Max, who's played a really good safety part of the game. A few offensive things have gotten away, but he loves this chance at the table, even though he's got to play safe. This is going to get up a little much. It looks like, if not straight in, a pretty easy jump for Niels, and there you go, clear path to the blue 2. Okay, I'd like to draw out to the center of the table, getting a natural angle off the 3 myself to get back to the pink 4 for that combination on the brown 7. It's kind of what he was attempting. Now the key to this combination is not hard, the pink 4 and the brown 7, but stay off the rail with the cue ball. You can handle a little bit of an angle, but anytime you're shooting a combination, it's about holding position on the next ball, and being off the rail with the cue ball is key. Now he's going to fall below this a little bit, so the 9 may be a helper trying to hold the cue ball. We'll see. Very surprised he fell below this, though. So if you want to hit a high ball, the problem is the pink 4 is not going to move a ton off the brown 7 with a high ball. If he tries to draw into the 9 a little bit, he's got to worry about the 8 with the cue ball. That's what I feared, getting behind the 8 there, and he did hold clean, it appears anyways. Did he get snookered?
The facial expression giving nothing away.
Yeah, I think he does have a shot. I think he's just determining what he wants to do with the green 6 here shortly. You'll notice the 9 covered up the long rail, so limited options. All right, couple different types of shots. Man near me, SVB. I know what he would do here. He would play the 5 and come to the side rail, the bottom rail, and then back up on the 6. I think Niels is just going to come across twice, like that. I'd like to see what the ball's pocketed number is from that 3-0 deficit that Niels started out with. Something pretty astronomical, I think.
He definitely looks the more settled of the two.
Yeah, and this is another time where the draw stroke, he's going to go with a high ball. On this slick table, a lot of the players like to draw out of this position. Hit it nicely.
How about this for a turnaround? The veteran is now only 3 racks away from being victorious. It's the first time in the match that Feijen has enjoyed a 3-rack cushion. He leads 8-5. Now, the roll of honour for the World Pool Masters, well, it's a who's who of the modern game. This is the last decade or so. There you see Niels Feijen highlighted, the winner in Barnsley and in Gibraltar in 2013 and 2018, respectively. The only player to retain the title in all of the years has been Shane van Boening. In Nottingham, then Manchester in 14 and 15. And of course, Joshua Filler, his chance of retaining the title disappeared when he was beaten by Niels Feijen in the first round here.
Yeah, as long as it's not on top of the line.
So Niels and Desi having another conversation about
Rack
cue ball
14.
placement inside our
Niels
break
Feijen to
box.
break leading by 8 racks to 5.
He's won 8 out of 10. Big swings here in our opening match. Oh no.
Pass shot.
Talk
Ball
about
in
something
hand.
that can turn a match around. Ball in hand, especially with a player that has come off a few mistakes.
Start the clock, please.
Oh, little flick off the red 3. Don't see a 2-9 combination here, even though it is playable. But Max will try to clear these remaining 8 balls on the table and cut that lead.
This is the most vital visit he's had. If he capitalises, right back in the match. If he doesn't, you fear for his chances.
Yeah, and I'm a little concerned about that shot there coming up this side of the table. He did hold a hair of an angle, which is good for him because he needs to stun the cue ball off the pink 4 to the right side of the table for the purple 5 in the upper left. If he had fallen straight there, things could have got funny. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Really lost his cueing there. Hit way up on the ball. And that's what happens when you lose the timing and the stroke. You lose the tip position more often than not.
Extension code.
And you talk about missing your mark, Phil. These players don't do it often, and when they do, it's not by much. But you're talking about 2 feet missing your mark there with the white ball.
Yeah, at this level, that was a gross misjudgment.
Watch out for the opposite corner. If he does pocket this, the cue ball could get lost.
Right now the air is out of the Max Lechner balloon. You can see him losing his grip.
Yeah, I felt a little frustration this far away with that strike on the jump shot. Initially getting down to cut the 5 in and decided to go at the 9 last moment. Caught it a little thick to the pocket, so it cost him a little cue ball movement. And now right in between. He's got to float it. I think 4 rails is asking a little much on the cue ball.
When you've been around as long as Niels Feijen, you're able to read the vibes of your opponent, and he knows right now. Lechner, crestfallen, annoyed, vulnerable.
Yeah, and you don't see it much from Max, even in some big moments when we've seen him struggle at times. Really kept it together between the ears, and now he needs a little help. Niels is getting stronger.
He's known as Mad Max, of course, in the famous movie. The great scene was 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. And right now, the man who looks like leaving us will be Max himself. This is the Brentwood Centre, not Thunderdome, but he's in deep, deep trouble. No sign of excitement from Niels Feijen. He's far too long in the tooth to think this is over. Let's not forget what happened to him in the quarterfinals of the World Nineball Championship back in Kielce in Poland in February. He was in command against Max Lechner's fellow countryman, Mario He. I think he was 9-6 down at the time, had an outrageous fluke, came back to win 11-9, so Feijen will be taking nothing for granted.
Rock 15, Niels Feijen to break, leading by 9 rocks to 5.
Yeah, I watched a lot of that match there in Poland, and it was a crusher. You could see the fatigue after the match from Niels, and really a body blow there. But back in it here at the Whirlpool Masters. Oh, cue ball's going to get lost, maybe. No, it's above. Does have a shot on the blue, too. The red 3 coming around for easy position. And all things considered, this layout should take the Terminator to the hill. Nothing really too difficult. Just got to work through the rack. 2 leads towards the red 3. The red 3 easy. The pink does go in the lower right. Not a lot of problems here, Phil. Maybe the first shot on the 2, the most important. He's going to love this.
I'm not saying, Jeremy, it's a roadmap, but it's the nearest thing we've had in this match so far.
Yeah, by a long ways. The racks have been difficult. The layouts have been quite odd at times. Beautiful thing about our our sport and our game is you just never know how they're going to lay. Never the same. All right, you can see the work here, getting from the green 6 to the 7, the brown 7 at the bottom end of the table. He's got options. I mean, he could draw this out to the center. He's got enough room to come 2 rails off the green 6 to get back for the 7. He decided to just keep it simple. He's going to come down the right side of the table. Probably hits the side rail, maybe a diamond before that right middle pocket. Speed's natural.
Extension code.
Kind of stung that a little more than really running it. Fell a little underneath the 7. Looks like he's got to come 3 rails. I don't think the side pocket's a worry, that being the left middle side pocket. That in rail kind of jumped a little bit, and this cue ball's gotten a little further away from the 8. Not too much cut. And again, this is one of those shots at your club table, definitely going forward with the cue ball, and you may steal. But here on the slick table, sometimes the players decide to draw the ball.
It was a while ago, but Max Lechner did lead 3-0 in this contest. What a turnaround. He's from one of the flattest countries on the planet, but now Niels Feijen finds himself standing on the hill. He leads Max Lechner 10-5. Niels Feijen, one last push for him to make the semi-finals of the Whirlpool Masters.
Leading 10-5.
He's 10-5 up on Max Lechner, having pulled away from 5-5. Oh, the scratch again for the second time.
Start the clock, please.
Well, we all know the saying, it's now or never. Certainly that for Max Lechner. Okay. The red 3 a little tight going by the purple 5. Ball in hand should help that and get a little closer to the red 3. May have to take a little more shot on the pink 4, but shouldn't be a real problem. He's got to use a little bit of the side rail here. If he catches any of the purple, the 3 won't go. Oh, well, I lied. It shaved it. I guess any more of that purple, maybe. Yeah, hard to catch that ball going in, though, like that. It had to be a sliver. I was going to say, he's got to check the cue ball a little bit. Just playing a real nice speed between the 8 and 9.
The last time that Niels Feijen scratched on the break, Lechner should have cleared. Played a very bad positional shot. Ditto there.
Yeah, and what the main tendency with most players when they do make a mistake in the stroke is just a hair of a let up at impact, it seems, and a little light with the cue ball. Nice recovery. Really good speed and good to see from Max. So he can't just roll naturally off the black 8. He's got to get into the cue ball a little bit to get by the 9. So just a light draw.
A ray of hope for Max Lechner. Feijen scratched, Lechner tidied up, and I'll tell you what, 10-6 down, yes, it's a very worrying and precarious position, but with a winner breaks format, he's not out of this by no means.
No, absolutely. We've seen many games won on the spin, and I'll tell you another factor that we hadn't talked about since early today was, all those golden breaks, right? What about one of those to lighten the mood for Max maybe and get some more racks on his side?
That was Feijen's reaction. Yes, he's well in front, but after all of these hundreds of tournaments, thousands of tournaments he's played,
Rack
he will
17,
know that
Max
the job
Lechner's
is not
break,
done yet.
trailing by 10 racks to 6.
Return of the cue ball, the 9 heading towards the side pocket and the 2 in front of it. This could be curtains here, Phil.
Start the clock, please.
Surely it will be. And that curtain will fall on Max Lechner.
Yeah, and we talked about often the scratches instead of the golden breaks, and there we have it.
Yeah, 2-9 from Niels Feijen. It was basically a given, wasn't it, in the end?